Hey everyone, this is James from Tin Robot Games, and I am just looking to do a quick update on Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. I'm going to include this video as part of the update that goes out to all the backers today, and along with that we're going to send some pictures and so forth of the manufacturing of the game, but wanted to show everybody what the final print copy looks like. So I have here with me an actual off the print line, the final game. So this is essentially what people are going to be, not essentially, this is what people will be receiving. There's also some add-ons I'll talk about that some of the backers will receive as well, and why we made some of the decisions that we made. So let's go to a quick box opening at the end of this video. Then I'll give you an update on where we're at in terms of shipping and so forth, because all that's pretty important. So box opening cam, I got some extra lights on here so you can just see this much clearer. The finish is the matte finish as we promised. We're very happy with the way the artwork turned out. We added a little bit more design at the top, again just to anchor that logo, and the game just turned out as well as I had hoped it would turn out. It just looks beautiful. So when you open up the box, you get the nice snug lid fit. Inside of the box, you've got your inside of the tree or inside of the nest rule book, which I know we had some issues with this during the initial production, but everything's been resolved. So the book looks fantastic. It's in English and French inside the box, and in Europe we have some additional copies that will be shipped with basically all the materials. That will be in German and Italian. So we had some people who wanted the German and Italian instructions. Of course, we have all that digitally. We have the Spanish instructions digitally as well. But we actually printed copies of the German Italian book, which looks very similar to this, where you have one language on the front end, you turn over, you flip it over, and you've got the other language going the other way. So this turned out quite nice. We're very, very pleased with this. Go over there, got the player boards, and the key thing on these is, and underneath you have your little cutout that this little center nest will nest in. We ended up printing both sides. It is linen finish. I don't know if you can see it when you look up close. It's tough to see this angle, but there is pictures we'll show where it's linen finish. The boards are linen finish. The boards are triple layered. So we have the cutouts on the front, as you can see, where you can nestle the acorns in. So these are the acorns. They nestle into the cheeks like so. I'm all thumbs today. And then you can move them down into the nest, and then you can move them down to the ground that you bury. We end up cutting out the ground area larger so you can fit your total 20 point score down there. Before, they were actually spilling out and you had to heap them up. Now they fit in that area. We also have in this triple layer board on the back, we have cutouts, so your cards will actually slide in underneath there as well. So very happy with the way that turned out. In the box we have your bag of meeples. So you have your 6 meeple colors, look adorable and cute. The base game came with your cubes, which act as your acorns. The brown ones are worth 1 point, the other ones are worth 5 points. And then you have your deck of cards. And in this deck of cards, which gets me really excited, is we also threw this in at the last minute. Can't really get the angle off there. Is these little reference cards you use when you're playing the game. We actually put these in 5 languages. So actually in the box. So it's German, Italian, Spanish, English, and French. Toss out the ones that you don't want to use, but there's multiple languages in the actual box. All the rest of the cards, as you can see from the backpack one, there's no words on them, so they work in any language. So we want this game to be able to play in multiple languages on the table as part of that play experience, which we think it turned out quite well. So you might be asking yourself, and I'm not sure if you can see from the angle here, there's a good angle, why is there this empty cavity over here? You know, why didn't we just kind of fill that in with plastic? There's a very specific reason we did that. Number one, some people may 3D print the characters. So we actually had each of these characters made into 3D models, and I think they're about 30 millimeters tall each. So there's some of our backers who are going to print those out on their 3D printers, and we want them to have a spot in the box to actually place those. I know myself, when I get games and expansions and so forth, I hate having multiple boxes for the same game. I want everything to go in one box. So that's what we allowed them to do in this. Likewise, if you're one of the, quite frankly, 50% of our backers opted in for the add-on of the plastic acorns. These ship outside of the case, but you can then put them in the box. They fit nicely in the box as well. The plastic acorns turned out just awesome. I am so happy with these. Let me see if I can get these up on the camera. See if you can see that. So there's the little brown one. There's the yellow one. And on the back of these, they've got like a little square at the back. And what that does, it allows them to actually nest in these player boards like so that they don't just go flying across the table. You can actually, they actually stay in the board. Which is one of the designs that we created specifically for this game, which is really cool. So there's space in the box to place that. So if you are one of those people that got all the add-ons, you're going to 3D print your own player pieces, everything will fit in this box. And then lastly, Sleeve Kings. Some of you opted in for the sleeves, and that was one of the requests that came in from one of our backers earlier on. Is they said, hey, is that pocket going to be large enough to accommodate cards with sleeves? And what you can see from this is, in fact, yes, the sleeves and everything fit. I'm not going to rip them out of the bag right now, but there's lots of room there for the sleeves to fit. So if you sleeve your cards, they're going to fit in this box, no problem. So, my friends, that is the game that's going to be arriving. I'm so excited. I'm pumped. Most people are going to get this before Christmas. So a couple quick updates just on shipping. I know that we had a couple hiccups with some production issues, and some of the shipping in the summertime was wonky, which pushed us back a few weeks. We have to push back a couple weeks more, and there's a couple reasons. One is the shipping has been very disruptive on a global scale, as many of you have heard in this industry, and other board game manufacturers and publishers have talked about. Our costs on shipping from the factory to our different distribution houses literally doubled between when our campaign closed and right now. It is insane, the cost. We're going to eat that. We're not going to pass that on to our backers. We believe that with the extra copies we made, we'll be able to sell those going into next year. And that should help us get to a point where we're break even. But for us, we want to make sure that we weren't burdening you with extra costs or asking for extra costs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I know other publishers are doing that to cope, but in our case, we were able to absorb it. And so we did. So we're going to absorb it. We're not asking for any more money, but we are asking for a little bit of time. And the time is not months. It's literally a couple, 2 to 3 extra weeks. And that's specifically because, one, I need to see a physical copy of this game before I approve the shipping of this game to the different fulfillment centers. Once you ship, you cannot change anything. So I want to make sure that I was comfy with what we are getting. I'm super comfortable with what we got. So I think it looks awesome. But I need to see that in my hand. So by the time I had a copy come to us, which there was a hiccup again with global shipping, by the time it got to us to sign off on, now we've got a national Chinese holiday that lasts a full week right in the middle of October. So nothing leaves the country. Nothing gets done, quite frankly, during that week. So our games are now slotted to ship out, I believe, on the 11th of October. So 11th of October, it's going to go to the USA. It's going to go to the UK and Europe. It's going to come to Canada. And then from there, our fulfillment partners will be redeploying. In some cases, people get their games literally 3 days after it gets to the fulfillment centers. Other cases, it might take a couple of weeks, but most people, or pretty much everybody, should get their game at least by mid-December, is my hope. By the time it goes through all the UPS and thing, or United States Postal Service and Canadian Postal Service and so forth. So rest assured that that's going to occur. But I just want to thank you for your patience, because I know that being a person that backs a lot of Kickstarters myself, I'm always just anxious to get that game. I can't wait to try my new game. But I'm also one of those people, when somebody says, hey, there's going to be a delay, I'm like, sure. As long as I know I'm getting my game, as long as I know that you're not just going to send me garbage in a box because you're trying to rush it out, I'm happy, right? I can wait a couple extra weeks. So, but I know because this is a family type game, there's a lot of people who want to give this as Christmas presents or as holiday presents. And so in that case, we've been, again, pushing hard to make sure that fulfillment happens in time. So that's your update, guys, on Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest. We're almost across the finish line, man. It's so exciting. Again, thank you so much for all of your support on this campaign. It is the biggest campaign we've done so far, and has brought a lot of excitement to us. So thanks again. You take care. Cheers. This has been an episode of the Board Game Binge podcast, hosted by James Staley, produced by James Staley and Mike Bruner, with original music by Nick Smith. If you would like to watch these interviews live, simply join the Facebook group Board Game Binge, and you'll get access to live interviews, giveaways, and interesting board game content from across the industry. I can't wait for you to join us. See you next time.